Hi Curtis, I'm Chris Garrett from KND Digital, and I believe you're talking to Jason and Sarah at the conference last week. So we're just going to run through a website review for you and see if we can give you some ideas for improvement. So we're going to start out with a general look at the design and the user experience, just some general observations there. How well does the site match to your business and promote the quality that you produce in your renders? We'll look at the user experience, calls to action, how well does the site convert. Then we'll take a look at some Google ranking, tracking, socials, and how you're driving traffic to the site. And then we'll look at some technical aspects of the site, which I can show you a few things there that you can improve very easily. And most of it you can do yourself in the admin area. And we'll look at page load speeds, and then I'll wrap it up for you. So let's start with visual impressions and design. First impressions, fantastic. It's a great looking site. It really is impressive, and it really does demonstrate the quality of your work and the level of the level that you go to with the renders. It's amazing. It's very good, and the fact that you've used nice big images just makes the images speak for themselves rather than having to explain everything there. So that's excellent. So I don't really have a lot to say about design. It's great, and if it's a fairly new design, well, that's great because it's going to last you a long time. My only comment, particularly with the homepage, is a couple of things. It wasn't immediately obvious to me who you're targeting. Are you targeting architects, builders, developers, real estate agents, or all of the above? Are you targeting mums and dads? Could I get a render done based on some plans I had? So all I'd say to solve that is at the top of your homepage here, a very clear heading, and really something really blatantly obvious, like high quality 3D renders for architects and developers, for example. And a short paragraph, 3 or 4 lines, just really hammering home what exactly you do and who you do it for. That'll also work a treat for SEO because Google, it's a machine. It can only read the words you write, and words like our mission when we start the journey doesn't mean anything to Google. So we'll come back to Google a bit later, but if you're going to write powerful headings, write them so that it'd be something I would either search for or that Google can understand, that will help Google understand what your business is. So a nice clear paragraph at the top of that page, who you're targeting, who's it for, would be perfect. If your work does vary from developers to real estate agents, it'd be well worth putting a page together for each of those. So, there'd be a page for developers, a page for builders, a page for real estate, and demonstrate the work you've done in each of those areas, if they are separate. If not, then not. But if you're finding that they're very separate audiences and they need different language, they speak a different language, or they require different services from you or different types of renders, then it'd be well worth targeting each of those on a page of their own. It'll really work with your SEO and build confidence that you are experts in that industry. It's funny that websites, we get builders come and say, what other builder sites have you done? Well, websites kind of the same all on the back end. They're all pages and posts and media, but they want to see what other builders sites we've done, and you might be the same. So worth a thought anyway. So calls to action. At the top here, great, this is download info pack and rate card, and that's a great way to collect marketing emails. And that's good to have right up the top in the header. However, your main call to action is right down the bottom here, or not right down the bottom, but fairly way down the page. I'd have a think about maybe if you do create a powerful opening paragraph, incorporate a call to action with that. Get started today or something in the 3-step or 3 easy steps or whatever the call to action is, and have that right at the top before you start scrolling. I'm on a little laptop here, so the fold's quite small, but if it's in here, I think it's a good spot for that. Socials in the header, great, fantastic, and socials would be a big driver for you guys, I imagine. So because you've got a highly visual product, and social media is perfect for visual products. Contact page is great. Do people come and visit your office a lot? If so, probably worth a map. Have a map with a marker. And if it's a Google map, then it'll automatically do all the directions and getting there and all that sort of stuff. So, worth having, definitely. The other thought I had was on your galleries. You've got galleries all through the site, and then when you click on these, they open in a lightbox, this big full size image. Could you incorporate a pin this link on each of them so that people can pin your renders to their board, and even put a watermark on them so that it says visual render. There's some plugins for WordPress that do that. They'll, on the fly, merge your logo on top of the photos, and so when people download the photos or pin them, they already have your watermark on them. Worth a thought anyway, because Pinterest is a pretty powerful way to collect ideas and keep you top of mind. Let's move on to Google. We've had a fair bit of a chat about Google, but I noticed you've got Tag Manager installed, and there's been some good focus on SEO. You probably need some better words on the pages. Like, this is great. Interior renders, excellent. However, the About page, who we are, our mission, our core values, this is better. If you can incorporate, About Us is a bit hard, but if you can incorporate some sort of keywords into these headings, it'll be better for Google. The blog's great. The blog's excellent. Great title, visual, render, blog. Simple. And each of these titles is great too. 3D render, showcase, day versus night render. They're all things that people will search for. So also maybe incorporate a subheading in there. So once you're in your article, what 3D render environment to use. Excellent subheading there. And inside here, try and put more subheadings down your pages, like you have. You have done that actually. It's perfect. Try and do that in your pages as well. What else we got? All right, I'll show you some. I've plugged the site into a tool called SEMrush, and this really digs in deep into the site. There's a lot of things you can do with this tool, but I just thought I'd show you some basic stuff. Site health, 88% is excellent. Only 17 errors and 80 warnings. And now these aren't things that are going to affect people looking through the site. It's just things, they're more of an SEO thing actually. So if you look at the issues, the errors, 17 pages have duplicate meta descriptions. So this just means they've all got the same meta description. So go through each of the pages and edit the meta title and description of each page, and that'll sort that out. It'll also, Google will re-index the pages with a better result as well. So the warnings are along the same lines. 25 issues with unminified JavaScript and CSS. That's just a matter of installing a caching tool on the site. It looks like you've already got some sort of caching tool, but if you can minify and compress the JavaScript and CSS files, that'll just make it faster. Google likes a fast site, as do humans. This is interesting. 17 pages don't have a heading 1. Google needs a heading 1 to really know what the page is about. So it's just the way the site's built. You probably need to go back either to your developer and get them to change the main page titles. So, for example, on the About page, this should be heading 1. And this here, Work Gallery, this should be heading 1, but also it should probably say Visual Render Gallery. It's just small things, but it all makes a big difference. And if it's heading 1, Google will take a lot of notice of that. 16 pages have too much text in the title tags. When you do a search in Google, the blue is the title tag and the black is the description. Now this is obviously the description for all the pages, so that needs to change for each of the pages, and it allows you to tailor that for each page as well. Yeah, okay, interesting. So see how this is dot, dot, dot. This is truncated, it's cut off. If it's too long, it'll just cut it off. So on all your pages, it's trying to write this and then the name of the page, and it's probably too much. So maybe have a think about how you can cut that down a little bit. 16 pages have low text to HTML ratio. That just means there's more code than text. Google needs a lot of text to figure out exactly where you fit in the market. So it's just a matter of writing more text. And as I said earlier, your images are really doing well and selling your product. So maybe the text doesn't have to be high up on the page. It can be underneath your main hero shots and down at the bottom of the page. And that's just a matter of writing lots of content around, who your product's for and what the benefits can come from that. Higher sale price, sell off the plan, that sort of stuff. Low word count, that's kind of the same as this. One broken link, and this is just really install a sitemap.xml plugin in the site, and that will produce a text version of the site for Google to index. It just helps Google do it faster. And really that's it. Like, all those things are just really content related, a bit of compression and an XML plugin, and you're pretty well sorted. SEO is really simple, really. It's about create a key phrase, 2, 3, 4 words for each page, put it in the title, the meta title and description, make sure it's in heading 1, make sure it's 3 or 4 times through the page, and preferably if you can get it into a subheading, even better. And that's it. That defines the page for Google, and it tells Google exactly what that page is about. And that's SEO in a nutshell. I know everyone makes it out to be hard, but it's not really. Okay, let's look at some technical aspects. I've plugged your site into webpagetest.org. Now, this isn't as bad as it looks. A's for everything across the board there. Cache static content, we'll come back to that. Security score, F. This can be simply solved by adding capture fields on your forms. That'll reduce the spam through the forms, particularly the big one down the bottom of the home page. One sec, I'll get there. Where you have a file upload. Now, you probably get a fair bit of spam through this, and this is very dangerous to have as an open field. So if you're going to have that, I would put a Google reCAPTCHA field on there to stop robots from uploading nasty stuff and spamming you to death. So add those. Add also a couple of plugins that we use for security all the time, iThemes Security and Sucuri. It's SUCURI. And those two plugins together will stop anything. They're excellent. And that'll sort your security out. First time to buy it, I wouldn't be too concerned about this. This is a server level thing that you'd only really fix by moving servers. This is the initial response from the server. It's nothing you can fix with the website. And it's really, you're talking milliseconds. First byte is 0.8 of a second. So it's not too bad. First contentful paint. This is the first bit you can read. So this is the first point at which you can start to read the website, and it's under 2 seconds, which is, I think, fine. Largest paint is 14. So it takes some time to render the whole page, but you can start reading it before it's finished. And I also noticed this is this is each of the elements that loads on the page, and you can see that this is your page, then there's some Google Fonts and Tag Manager, and then there's the website and their images, these purple things. And then the rest of this is loading Google Fonts, Font Awesome, Analytics, Pinterest, YouTube. So that's great. You've got all of that social stuff loading after the content, which is what you want, because you don't care if this takes long because it doesn't affect the readability of the website. So as far as the site goes and setup, it's in great shape there from a technical perspective. Just security, really, I think. The only thing I noticed was that it is SSL. Yeah, so you've got an SSL on there. So overall, excellent site. Excellent site. You'll do well out of having your SEO tuned, some Google and meta headings and titles, all that stuff. Clear call to action up the top of the page, and even be well worth thinking about a stronger connection with your socials. Like, can you pull a feed from Facebook or Pinterest or Instagram into the website? So you're showing that live. Are your blog articles going over to socials, that sort of thing? Just a really strong social connection will do well for the site. Anyway, yeah, if there's anything we can help with, give us a yell. Happy to help. I've been Chris from KND Digital. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.